it's Kathy Shimataro again, and now I'm talking about chapter 9 in my book on the cross. And this is about the cross and your betrayal. And this is probably one of the most touching things that Jesus did for us, and one of the most healing things that he did for us. First, I want to read a scripture in John 13, chapter 1, or verse 1, I should say. It says, "Before the Passover celebration, Jesus knew that his hour had come to leave this world and return to his Father. He had loved his disciples during his ministry on earth, and now he loved them to the very end." So Jesus is having the Passover meal. This is tonight. He's going to be taken away and, for his crucifixion. But he said he was with his disciples and he loved them, and he loved them to the very end. And then the next verse, verse 2, it says, "It was time for supper, and the devil had already prompted Judas, son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus." This is such an important thing because Jesus loved Judas. He was one of the disciples. It just said there in verse 1 how much he loved them. So Judas was one of the disciples, so Jesus loved Judas. And he loved him to the very end. And yet Judas went and betrayed him. And betrayal is something that every one of us goes through at some time in our lives. And when we do go through it, it is one of the most devastating things that we go through. It really is when somebody we trust, somebody we love, somebody that should be there for us, they totally turn against us. And they do something that totally rips us apart and makes us feel like we're nothing. And so many people end up even in psych wards because of betrayal. They end up, just walking away from God, or just hating themselves or others. And I know men that says they'll never trust a woman again because he was betrayed by a woman. So we can take on things in our lives because of betrayal, and those things wound us. They rip us apart. They just cause us to feel like we're nothing or worthless or of no value because somebody used us or abused us or did something that devastating to us that we really felt like they never cared about us at all. Now Judas, he was with Jesus his entire ministry. He saw him do all the miracles. He saw him, walk on water, raise the dead, heal people, cast out devils. He did all of that. And yet he still chose to betray Jesus because of the sin in his own heart. What we have to understand about betrayal is that betrayal is a sin, and we all do it at some time. We all hurt people we love or do something to them to betray them in some way. But betrayal is a sin that God hates. He hates it because of what it does to us and because of what it does to our hearts. And Jesus went through betrayal because he wanted to connect with us in our betrayal so that we can understand that he went through it too. He understands. He can relate when we go through some form of betrayal. I can't tell you how many times in our years of ministry we've had to minister to people that were betrayed by a husband or a wife or a family member or someone that they really, really cared and loved. And that betrayal was something that just really stabbed them in the heart, ripped them apart. They had to wrestle for months and sometimes years to overcome and to forgive and to move on, because betrayal is paralyzing. It is something that really is destructive to our hearts, destructive to our lives. And so Jesus went through betrayal for you. He did everything he could so that he could connect with you in your pain and in the things that you may go through in your life. So you may have betrayed somebody, or maybe you were betrayed. Either way, that sin was put on the cross. Jesus bore it for you. He took it for you so that you could walk in freedom. And that's really what the cross is all about. Is helping us understand that God took every sin. He took the betrayer's sin. He took your sin. He took every single thing that could ever happen to you, and he dealt with it so that you could walk free of it and not allow it to destroy your life. And so Jesus was betrayed because of your betrayal, and he did it to set you free from what was done to you. God bless.